All right, everyone, if you can mute yourselves, and I'm going to ring the bell. Take a deep breath in of something wanted and a breath out, something to let go of. Let's do that 2 more times. Happy Saturday, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Nice to see you all. I want to talk a little bit about time. I'm looking at my vacuum cleaner, my messy studio. For all you members out there, I posted a short video of, I have the theme this month is Even Fools Belong and Begin a Foolish Project. And I ran around with my camera of the mess that's in here and discussed what was going on. I want to talk about time. One of the reasons I think this particular week of exercises is so important for us artists and us creatives is it gives us the opportunity to really check into our own internal rhythms, because nobody works the same way. And when we speed up, for some, it causes immense anxiety. And for others, it's like a deadline. Some work really good with deadlines and some don't. But that speeding up can get us either in a frenzy, and that's okay, because it's just an exercise, right? You get to pay attention to what happens in the body when that might be going on. The whole idea of speeding up, it's kind of the other side of that. There's the shadow. The positive side of that is, if you think about how you might approach painting when you're really tired, sometimes our inhibitions go away. Like, we don't have time to short circuit our brains. So we sometimes could have breakthroughs or epiphanies. The same thing can happen when we work really quickly. But the slowing down can be excruciating for some as well. I'd love to see in the chat if you could tell me what resonated the most to you. Just a quick word, like, was it the slowing down? Was it the blind contour? Was it the speeding up? What worked for you? And then what I don't see any comments. And slowing down is new. Yeah. You know, as I get older, I realize I'm just slowing down naturally. So my process over 30 years is changing, and I'm adapting. That will be the word I'll use. I'm adapting to allowing for that to be part of my program. The other thing that slowing down, I think, really helps, maybe not so much in the act of painting itself, but the discerning part. Like, after you make a piece and we want to take it in and see, we want to see what works or doesn't work for us. That's a slowing down process. Okay, Carol loved the contour drawing. Quick moves worked for me. You know, I really, and I'm going to share the imagery. I really am a strong believer in blind contour drawing. And what it does is it builds our muscle. It builds our muscle memory, and it builds that sense of confidence in the work we make. Because when we're not looking and we're relying on our motor hand coordination and our eye, and we take the equation of ego out, like ego over here. It's just, now we're just in these mechanics. We can learn so much about the thickness or the thinness of line, or how we get our hands in there, or are we more of a delicate touch? Because we're not looking when we're doing. So there it is. And if you could do one a day, I know it's hard. I'm doing this 30-day yoga challenge, and I am doing it every day with Yoga with Adriene. And I'm like, I can do 25 minutes a day. I can do it. And the 30-day art challenge, I don't want you to feel that pressure of time, of I don't have enough time today, because I want you to give yourself kudos if just looking at a painting is all you do, and you take it in and you even write a word of what it might be saying to you. That's working. And that's also working with time, because we can do 1 minute, or okay, you all might know this out there that are art practitioners. Sometimes a piece of work can happen in 2 minutes. And then that work over there that we've spent 35 hours on, countless hours on, is not working. It doesn't matter. You're racking up your hours, if you will. When somebody asks me, so how long did that take you to do? I always tell them how old I am. Because that is our experience that's embedded in us. And there, isn't it amazing, our culture of how we are so linear with our time? So even that answer was a linear answer. I'm telling you how old I am. But you ask me a linear question, I'm going to give you a linear answer back. Love speed, probably hooked on the adrenaline. Yes. And also the other thing about speed and time is using your whole body, using you're just kind of maneuvering when you're going slowly. It is, somebody had mentioned a piece they made. It might've been Tracy Bell, where, and I'm sorry if it wasn't you, Tracy, where you turn the piece and you worked with breath. You know, when we slow down, there we are in that meditative state, and the breath becomes one with the painting we're making. I've played a bit with moving quickly on 2 or 3 pieces, then slowing down for the second layer. I like the dance between the two. That's beautiful, Jenny, because it's sort of like bouncing from the left brain to the right brain. Have a little technique and then let it go. Little technique and then let it go. And sometimes I guess we all get to choose subjectively which one. When we're doing the technique, are we rushing through? or when we're doing the technique, are we slowing down? When we're doing the letting go and letting divine grace, the conduit, you know, our connection with whatever it is that we're co-creating with, do we slow down then? Or do we feel like we need to speed that process up? Those are really good things to pay attention to, because everything within this time is giving us a deeper relationship to our painting or art making practice. And the more we know ourselves, the more confident we are. And it shows, it begins to show. Oh, I love that. Our age being the answer to how long it took us to make a painting. I just feel like if I was to say to somebody, especially like at a gallery opening, that took me 5 minutes, or that took me 30 hours, but the 5-minute one is better than the 30-hour one. But the one who is investing the money is going to say, oh, time, that one must be better because it took longer. But we all know that's not necessarily the case when it comes to visual arts, unless you are doing a project that requires that specific process. I think making music also is time consuming. You know, writers, we're reading somebody's writing, but we don't know how many edits they made. And then you read about the writer who said, oh, it just came right through me. I did nothing. I was just a conduit. So there's no right or wrong answer. I played a bit with moving quickly. I think I read that. Okay, the dance between the two, love the contour drawings. I'm going to share my screen and just kind of go through so we can be witnesses to some works. And I don't know, I didn't write it down, for instance, what each of these, I don't know why it's not doing oh, there it is. What each of these assignments were, but we can viscerally, as we witness, I randomly pulled maybe 12 pieces. As we witness each of these pieces, imagine what might have been the process for the creator that made it. I'll go through once and then we can share. Okay, before I go backwards, I just have a few comments on these. Line contour, of course. Well, maybe not, but I do believe I read that this one was blind contour. Notice the thickness of line, it's consistent. It might be with a marker pen. This one is it's delightful to me in the sense of what is just the blunt shape. And once you do that with objects you see, like taking the time to just do what the main blunt shape is, and then sometimes pinning them up on your studio wall or your bathroom or your kitchen, you can say to yourself, which of these shapes really resonate to me? What might be something that I repeat when I'm actually looking and making? Some good questions. A blind contour. This was the piece that Tracy had mentioned. She turned it and she started breathing into it. What do you all imagine? Can someone write in the chat what this one was, this exercise in particular? Does anyone get a feeling from it? I get quickness. Maureen, was that a thumbs up? Was that? Yeah, that was. Okay. And how about this one? Jenny said perspective. She got perspective, moving through time and space. I feel layers on this, so I'm imagining there was a slowing down. Marissa, was this yours? I do know this was moving quicker. This was Deborah's piece. That's what this piece makes me want to do. Jenna, which one was this? Nope, not Marissa's. Okay. This one's Jenna's. What was the time? Was it you went off hiking and then you came back and then you made this? Slow looking, taking a piece and being influenced. Slow looking. You know, I do love that assignment too. It's sort of part of a memory. You really take something in, and once again, what is important to you is usually what you remember, so it gives you information into your own process. Off a photo. This is Donna's apron, her blind contour. Notice the studio wall looks like a lot of time has been put into that. Blind contour. Oh, and speaking of memory, the bit that I remember reading when I pulled this painting was something about the simpler a composition, sometimes the more complicated it is to make it. Because every decision that we make changes everything. So there's a slowing of time when we're making what color needs to go next to the next color. I mean, this is it is simple, but this is a very complex piece. This is Eddie's. It feels like a spiritual reach. I think that's what the comment was that I said. But I actually get a sense of time in here, just kind of a pulling. This is Susan's. What I remember reading was that she was standing in one place and making layers and layers. And so we get this monochromatic result that has an influence. You know, when you look at a painting and you see all these layers and you can almost get the sense of standing in front of the painting when the artist was making it. Holding presence, that's the word. I believe presence is a wonderful word to investigate in anyone's painting process. I work a lot with what it means to be in presence, like in our Dive Deep program, or when I'm talking to you all, I seem to use that word quite a bit, because the subjective way we take in information and decipher it back out into our hands, what's happening? You know, what makes us different than somebody else if we're looking at the same thing? Naming that is not always a bad thing, as opposed to I make abstract paintings and they should speak for themselves, and however anyone wants to interpret it. I think, yes, we can't control how people interpret the work we make, but I think the more we can articulate where's our presence, where are our thoughts, where do they wander, what's important to us, that it makes our work stronger in the end. All right, everybody. I'm going to stop my screen share. I'm going to take any questions that you might have in the chat right now. And does anybody have any questions for me? I really appreciate you being here. So to talk about time, I have nothing to show you this week. And the reason is this is a linear thing too. I felt like a chunk of my time got completely eaten up by writing a grant, a Gottlieb Foundation grant so what was interesting for me, because I was tracking time, is it's for artists that have been working in a mature level for 20 years. So I had to have 20 years of work, a narrative, a bio, and I applied for this last year, but in 1 year, so much has changed in how I perceive, and I changed the whole narration. I've organized all my 30 years of work. So that's what I did. So I was literally tracking chronological time, and it slowed me way down. And now I'm like, now I'm behind. And there's our parable. What does behind mean? I'm not on the Facebook page, but could I still send a photo of something from the week's work? You could do it for next week. Just send it to me. I try not to do too much of that, because then my email gets clogged. But Carol, yes, you may, because I do know that you're not on it at all. Grant writing is an art in itself. I think so. I think so. It really, I can become a little compulsive and obsessive. So I sit up late at night and I like take things out and put things in. And also grant writing is you have one word over and they won't even look at your application. So it's really about crossing the T's and dotting the I's, which is, even though I'm obsessive, it's not my strength. So yes, Carol, you can send them to me. Oh, that's very kind of you, Maureen. We can share, and I know I will learn from you. Very sweet. Yay. Love hearing that. Okay, so let's see. I want to just acknowledge Ingrid and Tony and Carol and Jenna and Kim and Carolina. Welcome, Carolina. I know you're new here. Tracy, Mary, nice to see you. Marianne and Jenny and Marianne and Tara and Marissa. Okay. So enjoy this coming week, and I will, if you want to join me next Saturday, I will come on again for a short 25 minute. And yeah, if you're enjoying this, support Montacon Studio. We have our membership, $20 a month, first month free. There's my plug. God, I did it. All right, everybody. Yay. Thank you. I'll have a recording up probably in 24 hours. Bye.